Okay folks, welcome back to the channel. I'm very excited about the level of interest that we've got on the 49 Chevrolet here. Little video we put together when we brought it back to the shop, and you know, a lot of great response there, and I greatly do appreciate it. We're trying to build this channel a little bit at a time, and just basically a throw together video got the response that it got. I just say thank you to those folks that are watching, the subscribers that we've been able to pick up. Thank you so very much. Please pass the word and continue our little bit of momentum we've got started here. What I'm going to do today is you may be able to see through the picture there where right there the headliner and everything is falling in, and it was very messy in some of the other pictures and other previous videos that we did. But what we're going to do today is get the vacuum cleaner, begin to try to clean out the inside as well as the trunk, maybe take the headliner down and possibly take the seat out. It's at this point I'm going to start looking at the floorboards and trying to figure out what we've got to work with and what things need to be replaced. But again, thank you so much for tuning in to Russ Lover's Garage. This is something I wanted to try to do, and again, the response that I've got on that last video on this car was amazing, very surprising, and I just want you to let you know that I am grateful for it. So stick around, we're going to get started after this, carry you guys along for the ride. Thanks again.
As I get started here on the 49, opening up the doors and looking, at this point, nothing really has been removed from inside the cab. Had a little trouble there with the door getting it open, took a quick look and just decided it probably would be best to start in the trunk, which everything had been removed. It's just a bunch of rust and dust and dirt and things that probably should have been moved years ago. Thank goodness we found no dead carcasses of animals or anything like that. It was just an atrocious mess, and as you'll see as we go through the video here, we get things cleaned up, get things straightened out, and work our way into the cab. But to start off with, we're going to stay with getting the trunk.
Oh, just a little reminder to what the mess in here looked like. Not terribly bad, just needs a good vacuuming, and then we'll be able to see exactly what we're working with.
As we get started here vacuuming out the trunk of the car, obviously brought the big vac out because it's going to be a big job. There's just a lot of dust and dirt and things that have collected. But one thing that I noticed even when I looked at the car initially, and how good a condition the rear seal was around that trunk lid. That was really, in my opinion, a savior for the trunk of this car. A little bit later in the video, you'll see there's only one place in there that I found thus far that's not original metal, that's been patched up. But we're vacuuming out. Like I said, there's just all manner of stuff, and again, it's the sheet metal's got some surface rust to it, which we obviously can treat. But overall, the back end of this thing is absolutely in great shape. Looking at the wiring in there, it's all original, which obviously we're going to replace that. We'll probably be going with paintless wiring. I've reached out to those guys, and they've got a universal wiring kit that'll fit this car, and actually give me a couple other circuits that, you know, if I do want to go in with some other kind of big motor that's going to have electrical controls and stuff like that, their wiring kit that they recommend for this thing is like $242, and in the scheme of things and what all it's going to take to get this car on the road, obviously that's just a drop in the bucket. But again, we're going through this thing, looking at it, and just very surprised that no more rust in what we're finding there in the trunk. So we'll continue to do this. Obviously, the rear seal, all of the rubber and everything here is going to have to be replaced at some point. So we'll get around to that and be back with you here shortly.
Okay, we got most of the dirt and all the crap picked up. As far as the cab goes, which we're going to start on next, it's probably going to involve a tetanus shot before I'm done. Okay, just a little refresher course in what this looks like. A lot of vacuuming. We'll have to work on that seat, try to get it out. But again, fairly certain tetanus shot's going to be in order here.
It looked as though it would be very straightforward in taking this seat out. 4 bolts, unbolt them, pick the seat up and go out. But run into a little bit of problems, could not see exactly why, and you guys will see as once I do get the seat out and go through the struggle therein, exactly what the problem was. But bolts were turning and spinning, nothing was grabbing, so this turned out right off the bat to be a pretty significant aggravation.
Definitely going to have a tetanus shot. Typical garden variety sawzall. Can you think of a better tool other than maybe a jackhammer or a torch? Okay guys, as you can see briefly in this video, we got the seats out. I found a few holes in the floorboard, which I'm gonna pull you up in close and you can see those, which I kind of suspected anyway. But overall, the structure of the car internally, interior wise I should say, looks to be pretty good. What fabrication is gonna have to be done will be minor. Just a few pieces. I don't know unless some of the insulation or sound deadening, once I get underneath the car, unless I see that it's really in bad shape, I'm probably just going to do some panels, redo some of the stuff. Here's been some aluminum sheets put in, not welded in, pop riveted in order to seal that off, keep water out of the cab, you know, for long-term use. We're obviously going to have to fix that and then undercoat the car. So at this point, I'm going to take you guys in, show you exactly what I see, and we'll just kind of look at it together. Okay, if you look right here, you can see this panel is aluminum. Been put in, been cut out, pretty good size hole underneath there. This also is rotted out. This is the insulation or sound deadening that I'm looking at. Not real sure what I'm going to find under there. It feels as though that it has been replaced. Again, if you look right here along this seam, looks like there's been a piece of aluminum, and also right here, there's a piece of aluminum been added in and pop riveted in. Quick repair. Okay, effective for what it was designed to do, but not something I'm going to leave in the car long term. Also, as we spin around and look at the front, you can tell this panel right here has also been put in, kind of screwed in, makeshift. The entire floorboard in this front's been replaced. Probably I'm going to use that, if I can get it out okay and fairly straight. I'm going to use this entire piece right here as a panel, and then we'll butt it up like it needs to be and weld it all in. We're going to step around at this point to the other side and look at some of the problems we found over there. Okay guys, if we look at the back on this side here, floorboard in the rear, not in bad shape. Got a little bit of concern back there in the back with the amount of surface rust that I'm finding. But again, we'll just have to look at it. Seems to be some metal possibly there to work with. Again, right here we've got a patch panel right across from where the other one was. But if we look, when the floorboard steps up and underneath this piece here, this is an extremely solid piece. So probably just going to work in there unless it makes more sense to buy the floor pans, easy for me to say. Unless it makes more sense to buy those, then that's what we'll do. The one concern that I've got on this side, obviously this floorboard here has been also patch paneled in, but if you look right here in the rocker panel, most all of that has rotted out. Probably enough there to use as a pattern. So we'll just have to play with that as we get there. My guess is I'm going to make the piece to go along right here, and then it'll butt up to what we do going into the floorboard. But as you see, got a little bit of work cut out for us, but it's certainly going to be a fun little project.